Hi and welcome to the Running Channel. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Anna, and here at the Running Channel we want to cover all aspects of running, be it challenges, how-to, tips on improving your running, and also looking at issues facing the running community. So this video is no different. Now, you may have noticed an increase in the number of posts on social media and articles in the news about runners who are facing street harassment on a regular basis. And we wanted to hear from you, the Running Channel community, about your experiences.
Plus, we hear from European and Commonwealth finalist Sarah McDonald about her experiences of harassment, as well as hearing your stories too.
Before we start, please do help support us in doing what we do, and that is releasing new videos every week all about running by tapping the subscribe button and hitting the bell icon to be notified when we do. So to start with, what is harassment and how does it happen? Well, harassment is defined as unwanted behaviour that you find offensive or leaves you feeling intimidated or humiliated, and it can happen on its own or alongside other forms of discrimination.
Being harassed whilst out on a run can take lots of different forms, and every incident is different, but it does feel like it is becoming increasingly more common. We asked you, the Running Channel community, whether you've ever been harassed on a run, and 63% of you said you had.
The different types of harassment that runners may face include things like wolf whistling, someone beeping a car horn, or heckling from a moving vehicle. Now, of course, this list is not exhaustive. And whilst some people may see these types of actions as a compliment, actually it can be really intimidating for runners. In fact, one runner told us, "When I'm running next to a street, I react to honks because I want to make sure there's nothing happening that requires my attention, like an accident, for example. It also annoys me that there basically is nothing I can do, and some people apparently still feel entitled to this behaviour." We've also heard from runners that they've had what seems like, on the surface, a friendly conversation while stopped at traffic lights or taking a break that soon descends into types of harassment.
Another runner told us, "I was out running about a month ago, and around 1 kilometre in, this guy started running behind me. He wasn't following at a distance like 20 metres, but more like 5. I moved over several times so he could get past me, but he never did. As the run progressed, I wasn't hearing him so much and there were people around, so I felt safer and as such wasn't on high alert. But then I stopped for a walking break, and there he was, stopping to walk as well. This was around 5 kilometres into my run, and that's where I really started to feel creeped out. I carried on walking for longer than I usually would, and eventually he took off and started running again, thank God."
And from one of our own team here at the Running Channel, "I was running in a big park on a sunny afternoon. It's a public place, lots of people there, and it's where I went for parkrun on a Saturday. I was running through the park and a group of guys cycled up behind me without me hearing them. Then one sped up and slapped my bum as he went past. I was speechless as they cycled off laughing."
You might never have been harassed, but have you ever felt unsafe on a run? Have you ever seen someone who's made you feel uncomfortable in some way?
Plan International has a poll open at the moment asking women and girls what they've done to avoid street harassment. The highest answer so far has been crossing the road to avoid somebody else, followed by taking a longer route to avoid a danger spot and changing what you're wearing.
Now, whilst this might not be solely answered by runners, it does relate to the experiences that we've heard about. Have you ever crossed the road, avoided a certain area, or even changed an outfit out of fear of street harassment? If the answer is yes, you are most certainly not alone. So why are these awful experiences commonplace for so many runners? Well, it might have something to do with accountability and a lack of legislation in a lot of countries to criminalise such an offence. It's important to note, though, that laws are constantly changing. For example, as of autumn 2021, crimes motivated by misogyny will be recorded as a hate crime by police in England and Wales. But there's always more that can be done. In fact, under current UK law, the 1997 Harassment Act only qualifies when there are repeated instances. So one name-calling incident wouldn't be enough to qualify. But it only takes one incident for someone to feel incredibly uncomfortable, as this runner found out.
"I don't know a single woman who hasn't felt uncomfortable or scared running at least once. The comments aren't the problem, it's more being in either a wide open space or a closed space with only one other person, especially on longer runs where you know no one else may be around. It's an uneasy feeling. I go as far as to break my headphones so only one plays music or podcasts so I can always be alert and aware. There have been moments of panic and fear when someone turns around passing you and you wonder and worry. It's hard and it's exhausting.
In 2020, when some countries went into lockdowns due to the coronavirus pandemic, runners reported that street harassment was being experienced more than ever before. This could have been down to the restrictions on group exercise. In fact, in Wales, restrictions were eased to allow 2 people to meet up outdoors for exercise, partly due to the safety fears over people exercising alone in the dark or just alone in general.
Great Britain and Wales sprinter Hannah Breyer told the BBC before lockdown restrictions were eased that it's actually quite ironic that she's not allowed to train on the track for safety reasons, but actually feels less safe training where she is now. Which goes to show that the issue of street harassment affects everyone at every level, from park runner right up to the elites.
Hannah Breyer isn't the only elite athlete to experience safety fears either. We spoke to Sarah McDonald, who experienced harassment whilst out running in Birmingham in the UK.
Thanks so much for speaking with us, because I know it's obviously not a great thing to be talking to you about. So do you mind telling us what happened when you were, I guess, harassed, sexually assaulted, I think, let's be honest, on a training run?
Yeah, so it was a few weeks back now, and I was warming up on the canal. My coach, Andy Hobdell, set me 10 by 800, which wasn't my favourite thing to do anyway, but I had like my training cap on, and my partner was cycling behind me on a bike, and he shouted at me for me to move over because there was a bike coming from behind. So I'd moved to the side of the path with like the bushes on rather than the water side. And it was 2 guys on a moped, and the moped slowed down, and the guy that was on the back of the moped like reached out and grabbed my bum and were like shouting things at me, like just being generally horrid. And I kind of just stopped. I just looked at Scott and I was like, did you just see that? And we were both like kind of just in a state of disbelief that actually just happened whilst I was just trying to get on with my training, really.
And how did it make you feel?
Obviously, as an endurance runner, I run on the streets a lot, and I've had things shouted at me, and I kind of just tune out of that now. But when someone actually reached out and grabbed me, especially at the moment when you don't touch people or get close to people, it just kind of came as a shock to me. And I kind of reflected on the incident and felt bad for all of the women and men as well that previously relied on running groups and like training with others in the evening after work. And now they can't do that they have to run on their own in the dark. This happened in the light, and I dread to think what would have happened if it was in the dark.
Has it changed the way you feel when you go out for a run?
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably better now than straight after, but I was really conscious about where I was running, and I tried to run with people as much as possible. Like, obviously as a full-time athlete, I can't run with people all the time. Like I run in the morning and I've got 2 sessions a day. But I did try my best to make sure at least once a day I was with someone, and the run where I was on my own, I'd always make sure I was telling someone where I was going, and like on a route where I felt comfortable.
Is there anything that you think needs to be done or can be done to help runners feel more safe?
It's really difficult because I think about what you can do, and I ran in the daytime. I wasn't on my own. I wasn't wearing shorts, I was wearing leggings. It's really hard to think what more you can do other than like protecting yourself if something did happen. Like I, for instance, run a lot with my phone since then, but not because of needing my phone. It's just so I have an app that people can see where I am, and I have a few people on that could almost track me. And I'll always tell someone when I'll be back, or when I'll be back with a little walk at the end.
So this is an important issue facing a lot of runners, and one that sadly isn't going away anytime soon. Whilst in a perfect world no one should have to take extra safety precautions in order to feel safe, the reality is that this is becoming necessary for a lot of runners out there. While it's not the fault of those who are experiencing harassment, nor do we believe that it should be us that has to do something about it or change our behaviours in order to avoid it, there are some ways that we can take extra safety precautions, and if you have any other suggestions, then please do pop them in the comments below, as they could help other runners too.
There are lots of different ways that you can help to keep yourself safe on everyday runs. And this isn't just about street harassment either. This is in general if something happens. So think about telling someone where you're going and how long roughly you'll be out for. Or you could use an app, something like Garmin Live Track, Strava Beacon, or WhatsApp Live Location, so someone knows exactly where you are. Think about buddying up and running with somebody else. Or if you're on your own, be extra vigilant. Maybe think about just having one headphone in or using something like a bone conducting headphone so that you are aware of your surroundings. You could wear a body camera or carry a personal alarm if that's what you'd like to do. Or you could think about being on a phone call to somebody so that they know that you're safe while you're running as well. Let me tell you, that is great for an easy run to make sure that you don't get too carried away and out of breath. Vary your route so that you're not always running the same route at the same time every week, and take a look at your privacy settings if you are uploading your runs online.
It's also worth mentioning the bigger picture and what can be done to protect the safety of running in the future. Things like signing petitions or writing letters to local politicians or government officials could help to make your local area safer. Campaigns like We Will, which has recently launched, also aim to make running safer too. And learning about what laws are in place to protect you and where the gaps are in protecting runner safety.
Hopefully that's given you a bit of insight and information into the issue of street harassment. We'd love to hear your experiences. If you're willing to share them, please do leave your stories in the comments, and any advice that we might have missed as well. Pop that in the comments too. But most of all, be kind to other runners. We'll see you next time on the Running Channel.